what's going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick Strength and Power. I've got a couple of interesting stories for you guys today. The first story that I've got for you guys today is GoodVito's appearance today at the Pro Qualifier in Brazil, the Muscle Contest International Nationals. And this is where he will be attempting to earn his IFBB Pro status. He can win a pro card here. So the last show that we saw him do was the regional qualifier for this show. And I'm really impressed by what we're seeing at this show from GoodVito. I think compared to his last appearance, he looked good there, but I think here he looks significantly improved. His conditioning is really good here. The separation in his legs is just absolutely insane. I think that's one of the strongest points of his physique is both the size, the separation, and the detail in his legs, specifically in his quads. He looks really good in those front and side shots because of the size that he has. And I've got to go back to that discussion of who is more impressive or who has been more impressive, Michal Krizo or GoodVito at the recent shows that they've done. Michal Krizo did two. He did a pro show and a pro qualifier. This is the second show GoodVito's done in his attempt to earn a pro card, which I'm assuming he will win. We're going to find out later tonight, so stay tuned for coverage on that. But Michal Krizo or GoodVito, I do think that GoodVito here certainly is more conditioned than Krizo was at both the Prague Pro and the Olympia Amateur in Italy. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Who do you think is more impressive, GoodVito or Michal Krizo? And do you think GoodVito will earn his pro card later on at the finals tonight? Now, next up in the news, we do have a 3-week out update from the aforementioned Michal Krizo, which I think is one of the more impressive updates that he's posted. I think he always looks really strong in the side shots, particularly the side chest is a really strong pose for him. But what we're really looking for from Michal Krizo at this Olympia is improvement on his conditioning. We want to see more detail, we want to see more striations, we want to see him come a little drier, and we want to see him not look as shaky with his posing. And in this update, I think he looks a lot drier. He looks a lot more striated. He looks a lot more detailed. So maybe we will see a much more conditioned version of Krizo than we saw in Prague, because this update to me gives me a little bit of hope that he is going to be in really good shape. You can see a lot of detail, definition, and separation in his arm from the side profile there. And that's what we want to see. We know that he's big. We know that he comes in full and around and has dominant, impressive size. But we got to see him conditioned on stage for him to really be a factor. And I said this before, I think Krizo is one of those guys where he's either going to be top 3 or he's going to be like outside of the top 12. He's going to be a guy that's really in the mix or not in the mix at all. I think that's how it's going to shake out for him, because if he comes in completely not conditioned, I don't see him being a factor. But if he comes in shredded to the bone, I see him being a top 3 guy. But I really don't see much middle ground there for him. And again, I was supposed to do my Olympia prediction video yesterday. I pushed that back to today. So that video is coming in probably between this video and the finals video for the muscle contest show. So that video will 100% be today, the Olympia prediction video. So if you've been waiting for that, I got a lot of messages. Where's the video? It's coming today. So stay tuned for that. Now, next up in the news, we got a physique update from Bumstead at 3 weeks out during a training session with his new coach, Hani Rambod. Now, this was an interesting one because I got to be honest, I noticed a little bit of an imbalance in Chris's physique in this update. Specifically, if you look a little bit closer, because most of the poses that he hit here were front double bicep poses. I thought that if you look at the picture from left to right, I think it would be his right bicep though. But looking from left to right, the bicep on the left side of the screen, to me, the peak of that bicep, I don't know if he had an injury or if it was the angle or the lighting here, but in all 3 of the front double shots that we saw in this physique update, it looked to me like that bicep was a little bit flatter than the other one. The other one looked a lot more round and full and pronounced, and that bicep just kind of had a flatness to it. I don't know if you guys noticed that as well, but that was the thing that jumped out to me, and I had never noticed that really in his front double bicep before. I always thought he looked pretty balanced in that shot, but I can't really tell if it's the angle or the lighting, and it's kind of cool because he is training with Hadi Chupin as well in some of these photos. But to me, it looked like there was a bit of an imbalance. I'm not really sure what the cause for that is. I just don't remember his front double bicep looking like that, and we can put up a front double bicep from stage. And if anything, in the stage shots, you could argue that arm, the arm with the tattoo, his bicep in the stage shots was the more peaked arm. It was a little bit rounder and fuller than the other arm when he competed. So it just looks a little bit different to me. And again, I don't know if it's the lighting or the angle, or maybe he did have some kind of injury, but to me, the tattooed arm, the bicep on that arm, looks like it's lacking peak to it. And I really think when you put it next to this stage shot, which is from last year's Olympia, you can see what I'm talking about. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you see what I mean? Is it just the lighting? Is it just the angle? Or does the peak of his bicep look completely different? And I guess the real question is, if this is an injury, and we are seeing what we're seeing, it's not just lighting or the angles, is this going to be trouble for Chris at the Olympia? Let me know down below. Now, next up in the news, we got a really impressive physique update, a pretty comprehensive one from Nick Walker. There's like 6 photos in this physique update, 3 weeks out. He says his body weight right now is 262 pounds. And I think Nick looks extremely impressive here. Again, we talked a lot about this posing video that came out a little bit ago. It was an HD muscle video, and there were these screenshots that came out. During the transitions of that posing video, it looked like Nick Walker had a little bit of a bubble gut. And what I said in that video was, do I think, well, that was the question that I mostly got asked, was do I think that's going to be an issue for him at the Olympia? And my answer to that was no, because we've seen this from him before in the off season. We've seen this from him before in posing videos off stage, but what we've never seen is Nick Walker with a midsection, with a distended midsection, or losing control of his midsection on stage. During Nick's short career so far, that's one of the things that's impressed me the most about Nick, is that we all knew going into his competitions he does not have the prettiest midsection. But what impressed us was the extreme control he had over that midsection. He's constantly contracting his abs, constantly keeping them controlled. He's got very deep separated abs, which really works in his favor. And I've never seen him lose control of them on stage. So when I say I don't think it's going to be an issue, it's because he's never made it an issue. He's always been able to control it on stage. We've already known this. We've seen him with a big distended stomach before, but it's never been on stage. Now, obviously, I don't like to see a bodybuilder with a big distended stomach like that, whether they're on season or off season. Obviously, that's not an aesthetic thing that any of us really like. And if we do see it on stage, then I would have an issue with it. I would think it would be a problem for him, certainly. But so far, we've never seen him have a problem with it on stage, even though we've seen him with it off stage. So that's why I'm not worried about it. I think Nick has really demonstrated that he has practiced his posing at length. You can tell that he has worked on constantly keeping those abs flexed, contracted, controlled, controlling his breathing. You can tell that he's practiced and professional when he poses. And that's one of the things I like about him. He's got this freaky mass monster physique, but he makes sure he keeps it tight. He makes sure he keeps it in check when he's on stage. And that's really all you can ask. And as far as his conditioning goes, I think he looks really, really on track. He looks really good for 3 weeks out. And I do agree with a lot of people that think he could be a factor, potentially cracking the top 3. But you'll have to stay tuned later for my prediction video to find out where I have him in my predictions officially. Now, the final story that I have for you guys today is a bit of a sad one. So Jim Lorimer, you might have seen Arnold Schwarzenegger's post, and if you don't know who Jim Lorimer is, he is the guy that essentially, well, literally, started the Arnold Classic in Columbus, Ohio with Arnold. The deal was a handshake deal when they started the Arnold Classic back in the early 80s. And unfortunately, today, Jim Lorimer passed away at the age of 96 years old. So I just wanted to pay my respects to Jim Lorimer at the end of this video, say rest in peace, and thank him really, because we all appreciate the Arnold Classic in Ohio. I think all of us have enjoyed it for many years. A lot of us have been there enjoying it for many years. And none of that would have happened without Jim Lorimer, so I wanted to make sure to include that in this video. So rest in peace, Jim. And that's going to wrap it up for the video today, guys. I hope you did, in fact, enjoy it. I should be posting 2 more videos today, like I said, so make sure you stay tuned and subscribe for those. Make sure you leave a like on this video. If you have not already, leave a big thumbs up. And as always, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Nick Strength and Power, signing out. All right, guys, don't forget to click that like button and subscribe to this channel if you enjoy the content. Also, check out my Instagram at NickStrengthPower. My Facebook page, which is simply Nick Strength and Power. My secondary YouTube channel, Nick Strength and Vlogs, for vlogs and bonus content that you will not see on this channel. And consider subscribing to my third YouTube channel, Nick Strength and Pokemon, which is all things Pokemon and trading card games, completely unrelated to this channel. So if you're into that, give that one a look. And all links to merchandise and social media will be in the description box below. If you guys want a Nick Strength and Power t-shirt, that will be in the Shopify link below. Have a great day.